Hey everyone, Sarah here. Welcome back to my channel. I wanted to do a 6-month review fountain penny type video. Well, I'm going to start again. I wanted to look into what my fountain pen habits have been for the first 6 months of the year, and then I just wanted to note that somehow, and this is what happened. And then I thought it could be interesting to come and chat about it. I haven't prepared any notes or anything in addition to this because I wanted to, I guess, see how I felt in real time, because I think that could be interesting. My daughter also put pink stamps all over my hands, so apologies for that. So this, I guess the caveats or the boundaries that I set myself. January to June 2023, when I went back to work, I sometimes halfway through the month would re-ink the same pen. I didn't count that because it hasn't been for the full 6 months and it wasn't consistent, so I didn't count that. And if I had a TWSBI Go inked in February and then I kept the pen in March, not re-inking or anything, just finishing off the ink that was in there, I didn't count it twice. So maybe I'll start here and come across this way. What were the things I wanted to capture? I wanted to capture how many pens I used per month. Did it change or not? Nib preferences. I wanted to see of my pen collection how often I was picking that same pen to ink or re-ink month after month. And then down here I just did a bit of a visual snapshot of all the different inks I've used, and some of these have been inked multiple times. I didn't note that, and I've done it in my head what works as color groups. So this is reds and pardon me, burgundies, greys, pinks. Anyway, I said let's start here, and now I'm talking about this one. So this graph up here, top left, January 5 pens, February 7 pens, March and April 6 each, May 7, and June 8. What stands out at me straight away is right up in here. I started back in work in April, and here is where I went full time. And I have seen, if you've seen any of my recent videos, I'm using 2 pens kind of at work at the moment and needing to re-ink. So I don't know if I need a third into that rotation, but I'm still fine-tuning that. But it makes sense that it's got a bit of an uptick alongside that. The rest of this page, as I said, is I just went through for this 6 months, how many times did I pick up the pen? And the clear winner was my Moonman A1, and that is purely because that is my go-to pen at work. So of the 6 months for the year, I have had that inked 4 out of the 6 months. 3 times, the TWSBI Eco, the Pilot E95S, TWSBI Go Fine, my Kaweco Sport, and my Jinhao 82 Volcano Grey, which is the medium nib. What I found surprising about this is from memory, when I think back, I haven't really been enjoying the Kaweco Sport, but maybe I have more than I realize. I am enjoying it this month, but I thought I hadn't picked that up for months because I didn't like that last experience. But 50% of the time it was in an ink rotation, so that's interesting. Twice, my Jinhao 80 Lamy All-Star, the Jinhao 82 Pale Blue, which is the fine nib, my Franklin Christoph, and then 2 of my Pens by Casey pens. That makes sense to me. I am finding that the grip section on this one is starting to hurt on really long writing sessions. So that's something, I guess, for me to consider and work out. If that grip section was different, I think this pen would be in here. I had thought maybe I'd use the All-Star more, but there you go. And then my once-off, my Pens by Casey, What Dreams Are Made Of, which is the broad, my Moonman N6, TWSBI Go Broad, Lamy Safari, Platinum Preppy, and my Pen BBS 308. The Lamy I did use in my April 30 Inks 30 Days as a dip pen, but I haven't recorded it there. So then I went, in here to what nibs were being used, if I can bring that in. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 6 nibs there. The extra fine flex is the Franklin Christoph. So extra fine flex, extra fine, fine, medium broad, 1.1 stub. So the fine is the clear winner at 14. Pardon me. Followed by extra fine at 11. 4 medium, 2 broad, and 3 1.1 stub. This is definitely a reflection of the first half of that 6 months. It's only probably in the last month or so I've really been wanting to explore medium and broad nibs more. It'd be interesting to compare this 6 months to then the July to December, which I'll do. But this kind of makes sense. I do think a fine nib is my happy place at the moment. Definitely on my wish list is to try a medium fine, because I'm so intrigued about what that difference is and if that's going to be absolutely amazing for me. At work, I'm using crappy paper, so it's really sitting up in the extra fine. Even some of my fine nibs I'm using, it's really, it's work supplied notebooks, and even sometimes a fine nib can feather. So I do think as I work out how many pens I need for a month at work, the extra fine's always going to be at a higher number because that's what I'm using there. But I quite like an extra fine. I think my handwriting is neater in a finer nib, to be completely honest. And then finally, the inks. I mean, the thing that jumped out at me first was that I actually had so many blues, but then I remembered in those first 3 months of the year, I tried to do like a certain colour per month. So my entire current ink was within that family, which is really where those 4 come in. And if you took that out, it would just be the 2. This one bordered on black. I thought there would be more pinks, but it turns out there's only 3. But I guess if you kind of put the pink, purple, burgundy in, that is the majority. It makes sense to me that there's a bunch of purples. It makes sense to me there's a bunch of greys. I found this surprising. I've always had in my head, I should be using more greens. And look, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I guess it just goes to show. And then these are the browns. Are there groups of colours missing here? There's no like yellow or orange represented. There's no teal represented either. And I didn't include in this, I'm just using that standard black cartridge in my Traveller's company pen, but I have been really enjoying writing with a black ink, pardon me. What else is missing from there? I think I've got the majority of the other colours in there. So the yellowy orange, it's not always going to be greatly represented because I need things that are legible, but the Teranishi Opera Rose is an dusky orangey ink, and I am absolutely loving it. It's probably my favourite of this month by far. So if I can find things more in that family moving forward, then maybe that will end up having a more of a presence, but I can't really see myself having lots of yellows, for example, in there. And then it's about, and maybe this comes down to if I looked at a year in review, breaking it up even further to like grey blues, light blues, dark blues, there's no real light blue in there. That's probably your lightest one. That is a blue-grey eroded bronze. I really love that ink. I gave this a sample to a pen friend who was looking at Birmingham Pen Company inks. Her friend was coming from America, so I actually am not sure if she ended up liking it or ordering it, but I would like to know. And then you've got ones like Sailor Yoi, which can look grey, green, purple, depending on pen and paper combinations. Do I have a favourite? Can I cheat and pick a favourite from each category? And the answer is yes, because I make the rules. So from my grey and black section, Yoi is my favourite, probably just a no surprise. Second place would be Earl Grey. Coming down into pinks, Plum Nut and Pennsylvania. I really wanted to like Madame Mulberry, and I think I just put it in the wrong pen, but I just did not have a good experience. And I mean, I thought I'd say Pennsylvania Fieldstone as the winner, but actually Plum Nut. Plum Nut in my Pens by Casey Primary Manipulation 3 was incredible. I'm actually thinking of finishing the sample back in that pen for August. So there you go. Of the blues, Eroded Bronze by far is a winner. Don't even have a second place. Up in here in like my burgundies, Burgundy Chocolate Notes, Robert Oster ink was incredible. So what's that? A Sailor, Robert Oster, Birmingham. So Robert Oster's winning with 2 at the moment. Coming into purples in the middle. Ooh, I'm going to come back to purples. Of my browns, Colourverse Coffee Break. But I really liked Cacao. Let's go Colourverse Coffee Break as the winner. So it's a Colourverse. Down the bottom here, greens. I think I might have to go Autumn Forest as the winner. Dominant Industries, second place. I mean, maybe tied first with a Alt Gold Grun. You know what? Let's have a Shimmer as a winner for one of the categories. So Autumn Forest, Dominant Industries, and would be my favourite of the greens used so far. And purples. Black Tongue Spider Orchid, Van Diemen's, loved. Muddy Crown, Robert Oster, loved. Great Owl, liked. Vivaldi Diamine, loved. Magpie on a Branch, insane amount of shimmer. It's not going to be those two. I think it's going to be out of Black Tongue, Muddy Crown, and Vivaldi. Oh, man. Let's go Vivaldi. I'm going to cheat. Vivaldi and Black Tongue tied first with Muddy Crown second. Muddy Crown's really cool. It goes down one shade of purple and really dries into quite a distinct different one, but in a really nice way. I reckon I've probably rambled on for enough. What's that? 12 minutes and 5 seconds. Anyway, hopefully this was interesting for someone else other than just me. It was fun to do a spread like this, and I definitely would like to do something at the end of the year. And actually just thinking out loud now, I did this in my Good Impressions book that my pen friend H gave me, but I'm wondering about maybe finding a different format to put it in my like currently inked and like new pen day book. It might be nice to kind of be part of this collection. So I think that is what I may end up doing. Awesome, guys. Thank you so much for watching this. I would love to know what your first 6 months of the year looked like. Do you kind of like data like this as well? What trends did you find? Were they surprising? Were they like, yep, that makes sense? Yeah, super interested, so let me know. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll chat to you guys again soon. Bye.